The game might be over, but we're just getting started. Welcome to the Todd Fox Postgame Podcast, your go-to spot for real, unfiltered Angels talk, win or lose, on the halos in the Infield network. You never know what's going to happen. Walk-offs, meltdowns, heroics, or straight-up typical Angels disasters. We're breaking it all down. Who stepped up and took home the Golden Stamos, the most prestigious award in baseball? And who embarrassed themselves so badly they're stuck with the dreaded Nacho Night Award? Drop your comments, call in, and sound off. We're reading them all. So like, share, subscribe, and buckle up, because this show pulls no punches. And yes, Anthony Rendon is still a fragile little bitch. Take it away, Todd.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
Hey, welcome in everybody to another episode of the Halos in the Infield Postgame Show. I am your host, Todd Fox, coming to you live from his very own backyard. Yes, the studio has some malfunctions, some issues. So I'm out here on my deck enjoying a night that should have been granting us a victory, as the Halos Postgame Show is by the fans, for the fans, by the fans, for the fans. This is what we do. Hopefully you and yours is doing good on this Thursday, pre-Good Friday, but not so much the Angels. The Angels should have been 10-8 at least. You would have thought they would have salvaged one in this series. Instead, the dreaded Texas two-step fires back at us again, and we lose 5 of 6 games. We've now lost 7 of their last 9 games, coming home limping 9-9. But guess what, everybody? According to everybody on Angels media, the prodigal son has returned. It's all about Zach Neto, and the Angels just got to be counting their blessings, because everything's going to be right when Neto comes back into the lineup. Now, I ain't going to lie. Zach Neto's going to make some severe, a severe case for helping this team out. There's no doubt. However, what he's not going to do is be able to help the other guys swing the bats, because once again, if you didn't enjoy the fact that they made one Patrick Corbin look like a goddamn ace, well, they did it back to back to a guy who never has gotten past the 5th inning till tonight, in Harold Kumar, once touted #1 draft pick in the majors a couple years ago, passed around like a cheap hooker in Bueno Park. He now got his first win, and a convincing one, against the Angels. And again, this was a terrible performance all around. Terrible performance hitting wise. Again, they're flailing and everything. Even when they got down 4-3, there was no fight left in them. So you can't say Corey Seager's home run was the end all be all. You can't say that was a nail in the coffin, because, well, yes, it was. It was, because even though they rallied, it still felt like they were down 6 runs. I mean, the hit that they got from Renifo was almost like an accident. Yes, he went the other way. He did everything the right way. No need to talk about exit velocity with him. No need to bring up StatCast. That was just a good piece of hitting. However, Mike Nelson Trout behind him struck out a couple times. He looked bad up there, especially in situations where they had an opportunity. Now, before we get going with some of the stats and everything else, producer to the stars, can you please let them know what time it is? It's not a Stuka's night. It's not even a night where we play that sad song, which it's the Savage Garden remake, kind of. No, we got one Buttercup tonight, because we had a lead for about a smidge of a second. Then it went away. So if you really felt that 6 hits was not enough to get the job done, well, the Angels said, you know what, I got those 6 hits, and I'll lower you 5 hits. They went with 3 runs on 5 hits tonight, losing 5 runs on 11 hits to the opponent. Let's just say what it is. I like Kowanowitz. I like Soriano. They're good pitchers. Are going to be pretty good moving forward in the Angels system. However, Kowanowitz is going to have his growing pains. He's going to have his bad nights, and that's fine. But he came out there tonight with that sinker up too much. He couldn't finish guys off like last year. 2 strikes, leaving him out over the zone. And they were tattooed, but not tattooed as far as, well, except the home run he gave up to Garcia. Everything else was like slap the ball hits. I mean, look, Texas took advantage. They did their homework. And once again, it looked like the Angels were not participating in the school project. They were not relating or being relatable to the pitchers once again. Terrible pitchers coming into this game looked phenomenal, looked like number twos and number ones because they weren't doing their homework. They weren't checking out the strategies. It was the same kind of swings over and over. Let the pitcher get ahead and then just try to fight one off, right? Try to just poke one somewhere or try to power one over the fence. And it's bad baseball. It's losing baseball. And to quote a lot of you fans out there, and including the great Yvette Villa, who passed away, God rest her soul, RIP, she would say, small ball, small ball, small ball. Why aren't we doing the small ball type things? Why aren't we just taking what the pitcher gives us, going with it, right? Well, again, the third straight night, broken record, 4-game losing streak, and this is what you get. This is exactly what you get. When you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. The fact that they're not able to adjust, the fact that they just keep on thinking that everything's going to be sunshine and lollipops with the same approach, this is what you're going to get, another loss. And again, why as a fan base, like I want to criticize those fans that say, hey, look at, we're in first place right now. They're excited. I can't tell them that they can't be. You know, it's early in the season. It's freaking not even a quarter of a way into the season. And it's like, okay, you know, that's fine, but this is what I'm talking about. Trying to win every game, trying to go one game at a time, trying to win every series, even if you drop one. And you just felt like when this series started, okay, you lost the first game. You got to come back against Corbin. You should show up and show out against him. Nope. So it's like, okay, we got to salvage one against Kumar. Nope, didn't happen. We just got to. I don't know what kind of grade you give us. A needs improvement, incomplete, flying F. I don't know. But look at this lineup again. Taylor Ward leading off just doesn't do anything for me. It's not the type of hitter. Again, did he had a chance to come through tonight? Went 1 for 4. Renifo went 1 for 4 and 2 RBIs. Trout, I mean, what can I say, dude? He hit 10 home runs and 14 RBIs last year, batted right at 210. Is that the hitter he is for the rest of his career because he can't get the ball out of the infield? Otherwise, if it's not a sharp ground ball to short, if it's not a strikeout swinging above his head, if it's not a just a pop out, he's got nothing else besides a home run. I mean, that is the epitome of an all or nothing hitter.
How dare you?
2 more strikeouts. Well, how dare me? Prove me wrong, Trout. You got Soler 1 for 4. He struck out, but he got an RBI at least. Ohapi with his, fresh off the diarrhea and losing about 5 pounds from Taco Bell, 2 strikeouts. Shonawell 1 for 4 and a strikeout. How about that JD Davis, huh? Hey, it's addition by subtraction. Hey, we get JD Davis off the free agent wire. Woo! He went 0 for 3, including he should have been charged with an error after Shonawell couldn't glove it. I mean, he could have given both those dopes an error on that one. Kyron Paris, has he hit a wall? Have they started to figure him out a little bit? 0 for 3 again, 2 more strikeouts. Then Tim Anderson went 1 for 3 with a strikeout. Totals for the Angels, once again, 3 runs, 5 hits, no walks. They're not even walking against shitty pitching. 11 more strikeouts. They left only 3 men on base. 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position. This game could have been a lot worse. They're not even giving themselves opportunities, guys and gals. Not even opportunities to get runs. They're taking themselves out of innings. That's pathetic. It really is pathetic. A lot of first pitch strikes, a lot of first pitch, ground outs, pop outs. Look at this as well on the pitching side. Kowanowitz really didn't have it. Okay. But again, leaves a game 4 runs on 8 hits through 4 2/3. For most Major League Baseball teams, even though he didn't reach the 5th inning, even though he didn't get a quality start out there in the 6th inning, he still left. For most Major League teams, 4 runs is not insurmountable, especially when the bullpen throws up zeros after that. Yet it's the Angels, and it was insurmountable. An inning and third for Johnson, a hit, a strikeout. Zephyr John, I mean, what more can you say about Zephyr John, dude? An inning pitched, he gave up a hit, but struck out 3. Again, he allowed the home run. My only question is, why the hell are we pitching to the greatest hitter of all time, apparently, in Corey Seager? Why are we pitching to him? Literally, he's the only hot player on the Texas Rangers, and we're like, throw it at him. And not only just throw at him, throw into his hot zone, which is everywhere. Like avoid Yeah, what the Deo is going on? Why are we even throwing it to him? It doesn't make any sense. So in the game, Soler singled the first. That's why we were buttercupped, because we actually took a lead after Trout struck out and left it up to Soler. Soler came through with an RBI single. It was 1-0. You're feeling pretty good. But then Garcia gets a sacrifice fly to make it 1-0. And then they load the bases, get a 2-run double, which almost was a 3-run double. But thanks to Tim Anderson's nice throw at the plate, that ended that, and it stayed 3-1. Stayed 3-1 for a while, or till the third inning. It was 4-1 off a solo blast on a 3-0 pitch to Garcia, dude. I mean, credit him, because again, if this is the Angels, analytics say on a 3-0 pitch, don't swing, and our guys don't swing. And sometimes, I mean, that pitch must have looked like it was just underhanded to Garcia. Easy home run. Like I said, Renifo came through in the fifth inning to make it 4-3. And you're thinking to yourself, we have 4 more innings to tie or take the lead. That's not enough time, apparently. Give us another 9 innings and maybe we'd scratch across a run or two. But 4 innings, that's impossible for Angels hitting. It was 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It was that song by Rihanna, I think it was, where she goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's all it was. That's literally all it was. And of course, Seager has to say, well, I hate the Angels. I hate what they stand for. My brother played for the Mariners. He hated the Angels. I played for the dreaded Dodgers, and I played for the dreaded Rangers. Fuck you. And he hits a home run. That's the Seager that we're used to. So with that being said, let's talk about Harold Kumar real quick. Because again, this is a guy that's coming in that's at this point borderline bust, first round pick 2 years in a row. And once again, he comes out there, 7 innings pitched, 3 runs, 5 hits, 8 strikeouts, no walks. So a guy coming in with control problems magically fixes his problem. You know why? Because the Angels are not aggressive when there's good pitches, but very aggressive when there's pitches out of the zone. Can we fire our hitting coach? Because at this point, I don't even know or care what his name is. If you ask me right now, which you probably are, who's our hitting coach right now? I can't name him because that's how much he's been irrelevant. I can't, because listen, Lombardi, when these type of things happen, when the Angels were hitting 9 to 10 hits per game, you knew damn well who the hitting coach was, because Mickey Hatcher was over there waving his hat. Other hitting coaches in the past are shown because the offense is doing really good. And so they're profiled, they're shown just like the manager would be, because they're like, hey, look, these guys are studs. They're hitting. He's helping this hitter that was a 220 hitter before now bat 300 in the majors. So of course you're going to focus in on the hitting coach and who the hitting coach is. However, we have a no-namer because we ain't doing shit, and they will not show them when they're not doing shit. We see more of Barry Enright because he has gotten the most out of these pitchers that he possibly can with his staff. Hitting coach, not so much. And you know what else is the kick in the balls? Tonight, Clint Hurdle, that was originally wanting to sign with Ron Washington, who's a great manager outside of the Angel organization, or would have been in the Angel organization. Artie Moreno didn't want to pony up an extra $250,000. Really? For a guy who's proven winner as a manager in the major leagues, took the Pirates of all teams, to multiple playoffs. And now he's back in Colorado as a hitting instructor. Could have used that guy maybe. And he's a no-nonsense, exactly. He's a no-nonsense, no bullshit type of manager and coach. He would not have put up with this stuff. He's old school. He's everything the Angels wanted. But the nerds didn't want him, and Artie didn't want him. It's too old school. Either way, watch. Colorado's always had a good hitting squad. They're going to freaking start mashing the ball now. But let's get to the awards for tonight. Randy, let's see who was the John Stamos Award winner. It's the John Stamos Award for Best Player on the Field, and I think we have to give it to Harold and Kumar from the movie Harold and Kumar. No, we're gonna go with Kumar, Rocker Kumar, whatever the hell his name is. He was Kumaring all over the field because again, we couldn't do anything against him, and again, we make you look famous. It's sort of from that movie, I guess, Young Guns. He goes, one. What was the line that he said? He said, "I'm gonna make you famous." Yeah, I think that's what the Angel hitters do every time they come up to see Kumar or they saw Corbin. I'm going to make you famous because I guarantee you, I want to look at the schedule from the next time these two dopes pitch and watch them get lit up, and then it'll just be another just kick in the crotch to Angel fans. It's like, dude, these guys get lit up by the Royals. They get lit up by the freaking Marlins. They come here and they smash the shit out of us. Texas two-step, and I have to listen to my dad the entire game say, this is why we never play good in Houston. We never play good in Texas. Yes, it's Billy the Kid. Thank you, thank you. And again, that was Charlie Sheen's brother, right? I think so. Yeah, he's saying yes. Thanks, producer to the stars, doing the show on
That
the
would be
fly.
the great Emilio Estevez.
There you go. I never understood that, dude. Like, they're half brothers, right? They're not brothers.
No, they're brothers. I think Charlie's last name is Estevez. I just think he goes by his father's name.
They couldn't. They can't look. I mean, look. I know Estevez looks like his father, but damn, Sheen looks like somebody else's. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way. Like, they don't. They look nothing alike. He's wow winning, unlike the Angels. But man, I can't stress enough how annoying this is. I can't stress enough how, again, again, I've been preaching since the season started. One game at a time. Let's go 1-0 at a time. Let's just try to get that win. And if we don't, turn the page, move on. But there was a little bit of me that was looking ahead to Star Wars night, just not just because Gooby's goobing and Wayne is waning on the fan duel saying, hey, check out the Star Wars weekend this night at the Big A. This weekend, the Star Wars, the future's bright. There's gonna be lightsabers. Blah, 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 blah. It wasn't because of that. In the back of my mind, I was looking at it like, hey man, if they come out of this Texas two-step 3-3, 4-2, I'll be honking my honk a little bit because that means they'll have a winning record and they come home and the Coliseum Falcon. No, but I thought, okay, they're going to come home and they're going to do some damage, and let's see what they, I'm very interested to see what they do against a very good, surprising San Francisco Giants and a very pesky, in your face Pittsburgh Pirates. And once again, the Pirates got into another fight the other day. They're not to be messed with. So this is, a feisty little team, a really good team, and let's see what happens in the National League. Right now it's just like I have no expectations. I was really looking forward to this homestand, thinking, man, I want to see what they could do. I'm really amped up for these two opponents. Now with it getting kicked in the crotch in the Texas two-step, it's just like we're looking a lot like last year with much better talent. And that's the scary thing, because if you've upgraded the talent, I don't care. A lot of Angel fans are very passive. They're very frustrated. They're very like myopic. There's a myopic. Um, they want to shoot on the Angels and say, okay, this team is not very good, even though they have put up better talent. The talent is much better and actually healthy at the time. You can say bullpen not as much as last year. Last year's bullpen was much better. With that being said, if the talent's better, if the overall players are better, and they're still striking out at an alarming rate, they're still making errors, base running blunders, that's on coaching. And I never thought I would say this, but there's now rumblings. And even if you're the most Ron Washington fan out there, you're starting to see like, okay, we've got the talent. How come they're not executing? That's on coaching, whether it's Ron Washington or his entire staff in general or the analytics. Fire them all. And they keep playing like this because we saw how they can play when they're actually firing on all cylinders, when they're preparing for games, when they look focused. And don't give me that tired bullshit. You fly first class, you sleep first class in 5-star hotels. You eat first class. Shut the F up. No more excuses. We're tired of it. Who got the Nacho Night Award for tonight? Mr. Oh, and I think he left the room right when I wanted to. Let's see if I can find it here. Let me get the Nacho Night Award since he's not ready. Oh, there it is. Hit the Nacho. Thank you.
Nacho night, oh yeah, nacho night. Pile it up, load it high. Extra shame, hold the pride. Grab a fork, take a dive. Dignity's gone, but the cheese survived. Moldy cheese, stale chips, what a sight. All your dreams gone tonight. Had a bad night, lost the fight. No more crunch, just take a bite. It's the Nacho Night Award.
You know, to follow up on something real quick, I am going to give a half a golden Stamos to Corey Seager. He always kicks our ass. Then he did it again. So him and Kumar get the golden Stamos tonight. As far as the nachos are concerned, I don't care. I would say honorable mention Taylor Ward just for being Taylor Ward and having big Dumbo ears, but I'm going to give it to Mike Trout. Mike Trout, again, you are not showing up. You're not showing out. You can hit a solo homer tomorrow. You can hit a solo homer Saturday. You can hit a solo homer Sunday. You'll still be 1 for 4 in all those games, maybe even 1 for 5 with no walks and 2 strikeouts each game. Until you start getting hits, until you start getting walks, until you start stealing bases when they throw over to the first base 2 times and you have the green light, you are who you are. Those stats last year are just showing up again this year. 6 home runs, 14 RBIs. You're 173 this season. Get your shit together, says the great Morty. Right? If you could play that, get your shit together, Mike Trout. Because we're tired of seeing this same old baseball with you over and over and over. By the way, this is the longest you've played. Keeping helping the nachos. You got that one or no? No, it's down there. Oh, whatever. Okay, so with that being said, let's get into the. There we go.
Together and put it in a backpack. All your shit. So it's
That's
together.
me talking to Mike Trout.
And if you gotta take it somewhere, take it somewhere, Take it to the shit store and sell it. Or put it in a shit museum. I don't care what you do. You just gotta get it together. Get your shit together.
This is taking over, by the way. Soon you will see this everywhere more than Starbucks. This is delicious.
I still got to get used to the soundbite list. I don't know why I'm not used to it yet.
It's okay. But get yourself some Dutch Brothers. You might have to wait a long ass time, but once you do, hell yeah. All right.
Dude, we got like 6 of those here in Fresno.
Yeah, they're not in the LA area because they have to pay their dues. Most new franchises do. So it's going to take them a couple more years to get into the LA area. But the farthest west they've gotten is to La Mirada. And I think they're opening up one, I want to say Artesia. So it hasn't made it into the LA area yet, but it soon will. And once it does, it's going to explode. That place is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Although they do
some of the best.
They do one thing that really annoys me though, and that is they'll hang out the window, and while you're waiting for their coffee, they're all, "So, how's your day?"
Oh yeah, that's their whole
doing?
model too. Like that's their whole fucking model, man. And it would be like when you're like in a hurry, you're like, God damn, dude, like hurry the fuck up, man.
Yeah, they lean into your car. They're all like, "Oh, I love orange air fresheners. It smells so good. Can I smell?"
What a crackhead you got working over there. Skid
Trust
Row
me.
folks in franchises.
I guess, man, it works. All right, so let's get into those comments, man, because we got a lot of them, I bet, right now.
Yep, we're gonna get into the starred comments first, and then we'll get into the general pop.
Oh, and before we do, real quick, I forgot to mention the sponsors for the nachos. The sponsor is 714 Tickets. Get 10% off by just putting HITI in the promo. I swear to God, you get rewards every time you make a purchase towards your next purchase just by doing that. And by Brewheim, we got our Stellar on Saturday. Stellar hangout tailgate / having a fun time. $300 worth of free beer to give away. You just got to come down between 2 and 5 o'clock before the game, and you get your Star Wars Enterprise spaceship on top of an A afterwards. So, yes, Let's go to the comments. Uh-oh, Andrew says, oh no, we suck again.
Oh no! We suck again!
What's the starred comments, man? I can't see him. Oh, it's Spritz the Clock, Patrick says. I think he won the contest for tonight. Hit it.
Spritz o'clock, angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer, no matter score. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more.
I tell you, my dream is for Artie Moreno, the real Artie Moreno, to actually see that video. Oh my gosh, just to see his reaction. That's pure genius. Robert checks in with Taylor Ward while he has a draft stock. Let's get some JD Martinez. I would take JD Martinez at this point, and then you can put Paris and freaking Adele out there. Get rid of Ward, dude, for sure. All right. Rally Chris says Angels haven't won since Todd taken off his shirt. I'm telling you, I'll do the reverse shirt thing. Tyler says the nipples cursed us. They were so good, but was it worth it? And what did it cost us in the end?
Well, about $200 in super chats.
Hey, it was worth it then. Fernando says watching the Angels get swept in Arlington was not a good time. And oh my God, I feel so bad for the Angels family that went out there, for Fernando, for Jason, for I believe it was there's Collier from Facebook went out there. There's a bunch of Angel fans that went out there that are on all the social media pages, including ours or Jonah, and they all saw him lose in person, man. So I feel so bad for you guys. Next one, Riley Chris says Neto's gonna be the spark we need to get going again. Next one, Halo Joe says everybody hit that like button. Yes, like, subscribe, pass along. It's really helpful to us if you can. We really appreciate it. Hayes says we got swept and the HITI studio is malfunctioning like the Angels hitting. But I'm outside. Tyler says Randy is too distracted watching the Golden Girls. Oh my God, Tyler, don't bring that up again. Him and B. Arthur, dude. Steve Lee says it looks like we get excited too soon and the real Angels are back, but that's not fair, babe. It's not fair that we get. Why can't we be like any other fan base and just fall apart in August and September so we can enjoy 70%? Because remember, that's what Angel fans used to say. When I grew up, and I'm going to go back in time here a little bit, in the 90s and 2000s, early 2000s. No, I take that back. 90s mainly. The Angels would get out to hot starts in April through June. July, get through it, right? Get into August, be right there. September, fade away. And it was like that every year. And that was a narrative, and the Angel fans couldn't stand it because when they got to September, they'd fall apart. We can't even get to June before we fall apart. We're falling apart in April again. Next one. James says balls, and buttercups.
Time for you to check out what I want. I want balls and John Stamos.
Buttercups. All right. Next one. The use of Strucker says Trout just earned the 9 position. Is there a 10th spot? Tyler says some of the players said that they weren't tired in interviews, and Wayne still tried to bring it back to the long road trip. Wayne's like, hey guys, I used to live in New Jersey and travel all the time, and when I would go to other cities and stuff like that, I get tired. I need my mimis. Yeah, these excuses are stupid. Eric Ward says also, why does Washington refuse to play small ball in close games? No bunts, no steal attempts. They were just swinging for the fences. It makes no goddamn sense. Eric, that means a change might be forthcoming. Jason Hess says Ohapi has been in and out of the lineup. If anyone played baseball, you're out in the lineup multiple days. You can't expect to have Ohapi to be hot when he comes back. And that's the problem. Whether it was diarrhea or something else, you're sitting out those games and you come back expecting to be the savior again. Again, we're expecting a guy who just came off a rehab assignment to be the savior. Robert says Paris has been figured out in his mechanical issue. He has an open stance, then steps towards the third after floating his foot, unable to protect the outside corner, especially on breakers. Pitcher's dream. That is the problem. That's what we talked about before I get into this next
that
one.
shit fixed. And the fact that the Angels haven't even figured it out yet, send them to the Phillies. They'd have figured it out last week.
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing. The problem that I have is, again, we know he was going to have a hot start and he was going to eventually hit a wall. However, this game is all about evolving and reinventing yourself. If you can't evolve and reinvent yourself, then you're just going to get thrown out there and you're going to be repeating the same thing over and over. And I think that's where the hitting coaches come in and say, okay, just like Robert just broke it down in one goddamn comment, why can't our coaches who are being paid 6 figures to 7 figures not be able to figure that out? Eric Ward says Paris or Renifo should be leading off. I don't give a shit about Ward's OPS is. Once he gets on, he can't do shit, has no speed. It's the same shit with Ward every goddamn year. Enough. And the problem is with that too, Eric, they saw a opportunity to have Ward and Shonowell, right? Despite Shonowell kind of getting off to a good start, they decided, hey, we can't have 2 guys that are prone to double plays. Let's move Shonowell out of the number 2 spot, right? Makes sense. So you have one guy up there with double plays, no speed, just like you were talking about. Why aren't we removing him either? You came to Jesus with Shonowell, moved him out of there. Why are we still keeping Ward? It makes no sense. Dan Rio says Paris needs to have more controlled and reserved swings. Now he's swinging as hard as he can to off speed. He's toast. Yeah, he's still trying to uppercut it too. Steve Lee says your dad is the reason why I don't watch games with you anymore. This guy sucks. That guy sucks. Robert says Todd's not angry anymore. He's just disappointed. You can hear it in his dad's voice. Plus, I'm outside and I really can't yell. Well, I can, but it would piss off the houses next to us. James says Verlander will start against the Angels on Sunday for the Giants sweep. Dude, Verlander owns the Angels. That would not surprise me one bit. And right now he's pitching to a 6 ERA. Watch that sucker come down 3 runs. Jason Hess says cue balls drop off by the Joker. Cue balls. Me very happy if Artie sells the team. That's not happened, Patrick. You're going to be pissed for a long time. Jason Hess says they couldn't win a pie eating contest if it was smashed in their face. Rally Chris says swept by Texas and going 1-5 in the AL West, going home tomorrow. Good thing Neto probably back tomorrow in the lineup since he was spotted at Long Beach Airport. The thing is with that, we don't have that many division games now with the imbalanced schedule. You're playing 13 games against your opponents instead of 19. With that being said, all these games kind of matter. And getting swept by a divisional opponent is never good at any time. You want to at least win 1 game, 2 out of 3, and a sweep would be the best, but nope. Saucy says running down the West 1 series at a time. So are we going to go 4 up and 4 down? Because so far we're 4 up and 2 down. Tyler says
You got to do angel math. 4 up, 5 down.
Oh, there you go. My bad. Tyler says if Todd doesn't say myopic by now, we really are fricked. I got it in. I did get it in. That's what she said. Next one, Dan Rio says early sign we're in trouble. Exactly. The water is starting to come through the floorboards. Mario says, hey, got one in on the Texas 2-step. We got a lot of baseball left to be played. When does the season start, Randy?
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Thanks, Roger. Jason says, leave Anderson on the bench once Neto comes up. Bring up more. Start that chemistry now. He's like, the future is now. Jason says, let's hope that we win 1 against the Giants. 1 game at a time, man. I mean, Jesus. Saucy says this team will not have a winning record the rest of the year. Felt nice for a minute. Dude, remember when we were 9-5? Also, Jesus says, no way. We lost again, Jose. No motor right now. Jason says right now the Angels are just as good as a 3-legged dog. Oh, but they're so cute. Mario says I vote Rendon for Angels Player of the Month. Jason says Todd has to spritz before the show. I might have to if I keep drinking the coffee. Eric says, hey fam, there's a couple takeaways from the spritz too. The season starts tomorrow night, right? Does it start tomorrow night?
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Everyone having sex on this team. Ron showed the team to the cocaine strippers. God dang, this is bad. Eric Wall says, yes. Saucy says, is a trade deadline here yet? The only thing left to do is to look forward to that. Oh, man. And the draft. The Angels' ceiling is tall as Grillmaster. Me have no faith. Ooh. He is pretty short. Sapphire says, yeah, man, something is fucking them up analytics-wise. Jason Jesus says, FYI, for the more honks, he's batting 161 with 0 home runs and 5 RBIs, 13 Ks. Ay caramba. I don't know what is worse, watching the Angels or Aaron Rodgers being a cunt again. You are. Randy,
Hold on.
thoughts?
Just a sec. Where's Lombardi? I'll give him Lombardi. Have you seen the way your quarterback dresses? Sit down.
Dude, Mario never stops with a Randy jabs. He's like, Also, for the fresh Johnson is, or for how fresh Johnson is, I know he isn't Frankie Rodriguez, but the huge upside to short step Johnson. Well, I mean, he's showing off what he's got right now, and he's a good pitcher. There's no doubt. He's got the stuff, but he's got to earn his stripes. Rendon was definitely in Texas. Rally Chris says we weren't messing around till we got to Houston. And that's true. I mean, all things stopped in Houston. Dan says, and it started with another error, which for some damn reason it was recorded as a hit. And here's the thing, too. Good teams can avoid and get over errors. The Angels can't because they're not a good team. They make an error. Again, like we said last year, throw their head into the sand like an ostrich. Hopefully something good happens, and it usually doesn't. Where's Todd? Battered and tattered. I'm not battered and tattered, am I? It's just the lighting. His wife kicked his ass to the curb for showing too much HITI. Patrick says watching the Angels today is like watching Japanese porn. You're questioning yourself why you're watching it and what led you to this point. You got a tariff on you, Patrick, just for that. Oh, that's a wrong country. My bad. I don't care, Randy, on point with these comments and the sound bites from last night. Oh, there you go, Jason. Dan says, outside, it's freaking cold out there, SoCal today. We had rain too. Yeah, if you're in the East Coast, this is like summertime. It's like 60 degrees out here. Woof. That was a rough one tonight, Halo Joe says. Jason Hess says, Fernando, after Tuesday's game, couldn't go back. I feel him. Everyone gut filled while we wait. Oh, I guess that's from earlier. Watching this game was worse than watching two girls work. I don't know about that one. Let's just hold on to our dongs. We don't get swept at home. Dong 26. How about watching? Move on. Move on. Move on. When Todd comes in, you should play the farts. You guys are jerks while I'm not here. Uh, keep going. Keep going. Trout is cooked. Saucy says, next one, Sapphire Sup Todd. I'm in class, but I'm still watching it on mute. There you go. Robert says, Todd's outside. What's the address? I'll park outside, honk my horn the whole time. Oh, come on now. You guys are cold-blooded. Yeah, don't honk that horn. At least we fixed the lights outside. Yes, they're nice and too bright. Also, I think Todd is outside waiting for Marcia. No, I'm not. She's going to your house. At Halo Joe, how about Artie Moreno, Marcia, and a cup of Joe? Oh, no. Neto is back. He was spotted at Long Beach Airport. Angels need to turn the page. Hey, we're 0-0. We're 9-9. Hay says we got swept and the HITI what? That was the same one? Okay. Next one. Dude, it's frozen. There we go. Why do we pitch to Corey Seager? Get me the manager that intentionally walked him with the bases loaded. Dude, at this point, remember, we were like, Madden's such an idiot. Now I'm starting to think he actually knew what he was talking about. Hayes says no hookers in Buena Park. They're actually located in Anaheim on Beach in Lincoln. How do you know about that, Hayes? Jay says after the series, what are we missing? What are we lacking? This should be called the error game. I think we'll be okay. It's a long season, and the Rangers are going to be a tough battle. Yeah, but we should have won at least one of these games. I mean, we gave two of the games away.
We got
Easy.
a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
And how many of you in the chat are going to be there tomorrow? Todd looks like he's been hanging out with the zombies in Santa Ana. You okay, buddy? I'm fine. I'm telling you, it's the lighting. It makes me look like I have like dark ass circles. Robert says Shauna Will at first is trash. The Angels are fourth in home runs, though. Yeah, we're kind of sliding down. Tyler says Rangers are on base at every effing inning. They are, dude. And that's because they produce. They go for solid hits. B Train says our Halos are coming back to earth, and our coaching lineups are trash. Exactly. Tony C says Trout needs to get an eye test. What's wrong with him right now? The Angels have to fight them. I think the Angels are and players. They need a players meeting. Leave Washington back in Texas. Go Halos. Keep up the great work. I will say this, Tony C. He can't catch up to a high heat fastball. He just can't. And then once they fart around and get him 0-2, they throw that wicked slider or the wicked curve in the dirt, and he's flailing at that too, dude. Again, he's got nothing but the freaking launch angle. He's got no barrel on the bat. Let's make contact. Let's put the ball in the right field, left field. He's just swinging for the fences. Demetrio says that Todd can't wait for the Prime podcast of Artie Moreno's murder. That would be a juicy one. Gerard says Halos are the little blue pill for any of the straggling Texas teams. Yikes. Yes, I see what you did there. Trout just earned the ninth position. I watched Major League today. Damn, I wish that was the Halos. Can they win in spite of Moreno? I don't want to see Moreno in a halter top either. Botch says the former mayor of Anaheim is in prison, but why isn't Artie Moreno his cellmate? Because Artie Moreno has better lawyers. Curse says injuries have affected the Trout swing. He can't be this bad. I don't believe it. I would like to believe it too, man, but he's showing what he's showing. And yes, he dropped weight and everything. He came down, but he's still super late, man. Angels are back to third place. Who cares, man? They're 9-9. That's all. That's their number right now. Eric Ward says, I'm beginning to think that the analytical D-bags are the real reason why this team can't hit for shit consistently. How do good managers like Madden and Wash turn into idiots all of a sudden? There's another good point. Another good point. Useless Trucker says, looking O'Happy is Logan O'Happy is Mr. Streakman. I think that goes to Taylor Ward. Taylor Ward is a dude that's like the streakiest that I know. Typical Angels to make two bum pitchers look like Cy Young pitchers. Useless Trucker says, list of the accomplishments, list what wrong. Ron, my friend, wake the hell up. Yep. Also, where is the Angel's edge? Perry, you awake? Blow me up. Todd, like Tom Lankish. I don't know. Again, I'm outside right now. I would be yelling like if I was in the studio. Midapi says, I'm sad again. I always was, but I'm trying to hope. Yeah, I think that right now they need to have us Angel fans like Princess Leia from Star Wars being like, Zach Neto, you're our only hope in like blue screen, something to motivate this dumb team. You don't sound mad enough, Todd. That's because, again, I'm outside right now, botched. Trust me, tomorrow after the game, I will be at the game. So if you want to come by and say hi, I will be there in person. And then afterwards, probably a good 30 minutes after the game, I'll be home, not too far from the stadium. We'll jump on and hopefully we'll talk about something positive. Dan says, oh, what do you think about my idea? Have a HITI message thing for all of us to rant and cheer about everything else. Well, Dan, what would you guys want that on? Would you want a chat room on here on YouTube? I think you could do that, right, Randy? You can have a chat. If not, we can put it on Instagram. We could put it on X, TikTok. You let us know. You make the call. Angels made Rocker look like Cy Young. Yes, they did. Also, the Angels are the elixir for all struggling teams. Yes, they are. Next one, Johnny Washington blows. That's never going to go away. Emilio says Johnny Washington is our hitting coach, unfortunately. Yeah, now I remember. I honestly surprised Todd got Rocker's name right. Hey, Stop it, Tyler. Papa Fox kicked Todd out for the house. He said, get out of my damn house, you believer. Paris needs to have more controlled and reserved swings. Now he's swinging as hard as he can with the off speed. And, if he was Mike Trout swinging like that, he'd probably tear a labrum. Also, Patrick Carrillo says Johnny Washington is the hitting coach. Okay, since 2023, he has done nothing to help this team. That's why I don't know who he is. Only thing that I saw that was positive today was watching Torrey Hunter getting into Ward's ass. I'll take Torrey over Ward right now. Yeah, dude, at Torrey's age, he probably hits better. Let's see. I'll make you famous. Dang, I'm way behind on these comments, ain't I? Let's see. Timothy says, I wonder how much the Frisch brothers are going to laugh this one off. Ha ha ha. What's up from Cerritos? What's up, Cerritos? Danny says, seems like the Angels of the past couple of years have always make the first top 10 power rankings of the season. Then they go back to shit. But hey, we're good. No, we're not. Marty says, balls, and kicked in the nuts by Texas. That would be you, Randy.
Time for you to check out what I want. I want balls and John Stamos.
Kicked in the nuts. Also, Steve says, we're losing against San Francisco. Yeah, she's already feeling that one. Jesus says, better talent, but the same culture. That's part of it, too. Culture and chemistry. Chemistry's better. Culture still sucks. We definitely can beat the Giants in the series, but we won't. Okay. Bot says, I want to honk, but the Angels are not cooperating. See, they have pills for that, but I think in this case, the pills are duds. Mario says, normally Grildo wants to DFA everyone. I'll go one step forward and say DFA the whole team out of Anaheim. Ooh. Next one. Jason says, is Perry to blame for Ron? Is Perry in Ron's ear? So who's the fault? The problem is there's no transparency. We don't know what the hell's going on. There's finger pointing. You can see things that slant towards Perry, some things that slant towards Ron, some things that slant towards Artie. Most things do. And some things that slant towards the nerds. The problem is we don't have proof 100% which way is it really going. Jack says, calmest I've ever seen Todd. This is our reality, Angels baseball. I'm sorry, it's the upside down. Rye Guy says, my wet fart hits harder than the pathetic lineup. If it clears the room, it absolutely does. Hayes says, thoughts on Koch. Shoulder bumping Ron. Team chemistry looking stale after that. Yeah, they're not liking that one so much. Jack Chandler says, you and Big Bear? No. It feels like it, though. This is my deck, though. Let's see. Let's get a good look at it real quick. It's pretty big. We usually have parties out here and stuff, but seating and everything. But it's host to the show tonight. Let's see. I think it's Perry and Analytics Geek Squad. Madden said as much. Well, yeah, there you go. I mean, at least someone spoke the truth. Angel's grandma says, I'm going to my first Angels games this season. Tomorrow night, my Angels need my support. They need your support big time. So hopefully you can get them riled up because obviously we're having issues. Botch says Trout didn't even get a solo homer after AM830 said he loves hitting in Texas. Trout clearly back to banging the missus. And Papa Fox is so right about him having too much sex. Jason says the way he's hitting or not hitting is the reason why he's on the bench in the WBC. That's true. That is so true. Dutch Brothers, hell yeah. Damn, we're way behind in the comments. Keep it going. This is Dutch Brothers stuff. Let's see. Wait a minute. Where the fuck did you get that one? I don't have one. They brought me one, okay? Let's see. You love the chicks there. No, I don't. Because they're all like, yeah, uh-huh. Man, fuck the whole organization, Ben said. Let's see. And also, Demetrio says Ward going to get DFA'd and hit 30 home runs for the Pirates or some shit. Yeah, he should have been a Pirate anyway. They wanted him. Ben says Trout is such a has-been. We missed the trade window. We sure did. I mean, we basically threw away an entire decade, people. Let that sink in. I'm going to bring out my honk for less than a second. Big, what if we lose the series against the Giants but sweep the Pirates? Same Angels can't compete with the good teams. Well, then we absolutely know what they are. Ben says also, who the fuck is JD Davis? Tyler says, we love Trout, but he needs to stop proving he needs to start proving all the naysayers wrong, or he needs to stop. Whatever. I can't read right now. Next one. I've said it from the beginning. I don't like Washington. Yeah, Steve Elise did. She was like, forget this guy. The series also showed the difference in coaching. Bochy is on a whole nother level goat. Plus, they were doing the little things too, the things that we were talking about. Oh, here's Grill Master. I wish Corey Seager gets super hurt and is out for the season. What a wonderful comment there. Watch the Rangers suck and the Astros suck after playing the Angels. Also, Robert says I'll apply for the Angels staff cheap, poor. Just give me a reason to give me season seats, Artie, and free beer. I don't think that comes with the perks. Ron doesn't deserve to sit in the chair in the dugout. Win first, if not stand up like Sosha. There you go. He's got that awesome hair too. Greg says Artie Moreno has sunk this franchise. He let Otani walk, but did not hesitate to put money into Pujols, into Hamilton, into Rendon, the Golden Boy Trout, who has no shelf life. No, that is not true, Greg. All of his bobbleheads have plenty of shelf life. Mario said, my lineup could be Darno, Rendon, Anderson, Newman, Ward, Mancata, Joyce, Jansen, Trout. Sounds like a winner, Mario, just like your Bears. Jason says, I don't know what's more of a headache, the Angels or Purdy not signing a new contract. Jason, you and my girl alike. She can't stand the fact he hasn't signed yet. Greg says Perry gonna trade Renifo and Adele this summer, and the journeyman gonna be dumped as well. Tim Anderson, Soler, all of them. Then what? More journeyman? Deport Artie to El Salvador. Isn't he an MS-13? I thought he was. I thought Artie was an MS-13 or is he 18th Street, something like that. Patrick says the Angels will be below 500 faster than Paris. Paris Hilton gets SPD. Oh, that's quick, man. You saw her in the 90s. Jason says, can't wait for the Seahawks to move up for a quarterback in the draft. Hey, we got a quarterback. Sam the man. I've always believed in him. Randy, thoughts on Sam Darnold? Our number one?
Oh, I'm gonna have fun rubbed in your fucking face this year. Oh, it's gonna be great. Can't wait for the Unfiltered Sports Podcast. Make sure to check that out this fall, guys.
Yeah, if you like football, check out our podcast. We get into it pretty good over there. Steve Lee says, remind me to do your makeup next time, hun. You look a bit rough. Hey,
Well, you better bring out the whole fucking Revlon factory.
how dare you? How dare you? I mean, I thought this was getting my good side. Guess not.
How dare
All right, next.
you?
Exactly. The great Greta Thunberg. Dan says, time for Trout to switch to the torpedo bat. He needs like a freaking, I don't know, nuclear bat at this point. Rick Guzman says Artie needs his team to lose because political. Jeez. I don't know what that's going to help. Angels rocketed early and have come down quicker than those fearless women astronauts. Hey, it feels like an 11-minute season. Robert says Trout needs to shorten up his swing. F the home runs, be an Ichiro. He's got the speed for it. One thing that hasn't changed in his game, speed. Robert says we're talking about Magic Johnson tomorrow. That's the only positive thing I can think of. Greg said Todd is using his quiet voice because he doesn't want to scare his neighbors. That guy really sounds like that? Patrick says the Artie Moreno culture just jerking off to his Todd, I'm taking my son Ben Joy to the Ben Joyce bobblehead. Are you going to be there? Yes, sir, I will. And I want to get an extra bobblehead only so that because Steve Lee says that it looks like a jalapeno coming out of his hand. So I actually want to paint on one of the bobbleheads that I don't care about it green. It'll look like he's throwing a flaming jalapeno. And I can put like a Taco Bell logo on his hat. Be hilarious. Patrick says Artie Moreno is the problem and has been constant for the entire time they have been bad. Yes, since he took over the team, he sunk that battleship faster than the kid would cheating in that battleship game from years ago. Milton Bradley loved that game. Jason says, I dislike the Red Sox, but watching the Red Sox documentary on Netflix, wish the Angels had a fan representative like the Sox, where the owner cares what the fan thinks. We need an owner that cares. Nah, he just cares about himself. Timothy says, Todd first taking off his shirt. Now he's showing off his big deck. Only fans upcoming. If it helps us get subscribers. Tony C says Angels need to make major trades, shake up the team. This team will be better than Neto when Neto's back. This team is different. Get rid of John Carpino. Torrey Hunter needs to become the bench coach. Imagine if he stepped in because look, we've seen other players
I
go
thought
straight from
Carpino was already gone.
no
Am
Carpino's
I
still there.
tripping?
Yeah, you're tripping. Carpino's still
Fuck
there.
me.
Well, I mean,
he has been a constant for many, many years. I'm sure he's right in fucking Artie's ear.
I forget the other guy that left. I know Fernando can let me know. It was Tim Mead. Tim Mead was there forever. He left. But Carpino is like Artie's right hand man, dude. Like Carpino cleans up Artie's throw up. So that's where that goes. Robert says, "Wow, the big deck looks like something Willie Calhoun would build." He's like, "You call that a deck? I'll show you mine." See, Jason says Trout needs to stop worrying about his wife's double chin and more about his batting average. And that right there will tell you why, if Mike Trout ever did podcast, he would never do this one. They said we're not going to see Paul Skeens, so he won't be pitching in the homestand. It doesn't matter. They'll still beat us. Over and under, Todd brings out the clown makeup before the All-Star break. Boy, if you bet against me, you are wrong, because Saturday, under the Enterprise, I go clowning, baby, into the stands. Sammy Dimes, baby. There you go, Robert. Sponsor us, Dutch Brothers. Jesus says, following the Salt Lake Bees, Dana finished with 7 shutout innings. Again, Jesus, he will be good. You watch. They brought him up too many times, sent him down too many times. He needs to work on it. He's got the stuff, just doesn't have the pinpoint accuracy yet. Let him marinate down there. I would not bring him up the rest of the season and give him a shot in spring training next year. Remember for Spritzton 26? Jason says the whole Revlon factory. Oh, see that? Next show, Todd's going to show up looking like those old ladies with those fake ass filters to look young and airbrushed. Randy, work on that one for me, please. Because right now I look like I belong on the Golden Girls, apparently to the fans. Ben says, does Artie know we all hate him? Yes, he does, because he's not in that intro from this year. The Tim Mead got a job at Cooperstown. There you go. He does work for, I think he's on the Veterans Committee, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think Hunter has the balls to be coach. I don't see Hunter getting in Trout's face or for a slump or having a bad throw on a route. Hunter will be nothing but a bench coach. I'd like to see him do better. Angels have great fans.
If I can squeeze in here real fast.
Go right on
Socha
ahead.
never got in anybody's face. He'd walk up and kind of give you like a stern talking to him, like, "Hey, listen, this is how it's going to be." But he never like, "Hey, get your fucking head out of your ass." He'd say that for the umps. But it's Socha. In the 20 years that he was here, I could never remember him. Maybe Guillen back in the day, but getting in players' faces, like that usually doesn't work. These are grown ass men, but you can typically, young guys, you can give them a stern talking to, like, "Hey, it's my way or the highway. If you want to play here, you better fucking do it my way."
Yeah, I believe that those days are long gone, because a guy like Tony La Russa, he didn't have the same effect when he tried to manage the White Sox. Certain guys can provide that, and then certain guys can't. It just depends on who's managing, and I think Socha earned the respect by just having that calm demeanor. I think he did raise his voice sometimes, some players said, but it wasn't all the time. And he definitely wasn't in your face. You're absolutely correct. Mario says Angels have great fans, but they are also smart fans too. Why spend money when the owner won't give us a reason and will still return? I think he meant we're not smart fans, because we do have the AM 830 side. Mud says Anthony Rendon is the reason Artie won't spend money anymore. It's Rendon and the TV contracts right now. Those two have hampered the Angels. Robert says Hunter got in Pujols' face back in the day and got the boot from Artie. Yeah, it's true. That really happened. Greg says Artie Moreno has his favorites. Time has shown that his judgment is not very good. Yeah, that's true. I mean, oh man. Whoa, Randy, there's a point where you need to stern talking to. Sometimes CPT needs a slap in the face. Oh,
Show me any point in history where getting in your captain's face and just completely obliterating him has ever fucking worked. Because I guarantee you, you do that to Trout, and he's gonna be like, you know what, I'm not playing for this. I'm not playing for this guy. It's either him or me. And I guarantee you, Artie's not gonna be like, oh, okay, Trout, bye.
yeah, that's true because otherwise, Trout, we would have parted ways with Trout years ago. So, is that the end of the comments? Okay. So Sosa probably got in the guy's grill in the clubhouse, not in the field. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think Randy's right because I know in the closed door meetings from watching some of the guys back in the day cover this team, they said it got pretty heated and contested. And they said players got in other players' faces, but it wasn't always because you got to remember who was on that team too. You had Jeff Weaver or Jared Weaver on that team, and Jared was pretty damn feisty, dude. He did not hold back.
Which goes to show the kind of culture we had on this team. It's like, hey, we didn't air it out in the media. We didn't bullshit it around in the fucking dugout. We waited till the cameras were gone and we acted like a family behind closed doors and we got down to brass tacks and we said what we needed to fucking say, how we needed to fucking say it. And that's where it stayed.
Yeah, absolutely. Like what he said right now. I mean, what was said in there stayed in there, and they really didn't get to that point. So I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. All I know is that in all actuality, you have to look at the team needs to look at themselves in the mirror and decide what they want to be. If they want to continue the lousy play, the lousy culture, and not take accountability and not fire each other up and not try to get on someone else's ass if you know that they're lacking, if you know that they're not hitting batting practice or not doing the things they should be doing as far as studying the film. If they're not doing all that stuff and you call yourself a professional, again, I'd rather gut the team and have a minor league roster than we had last year. That at least we knew that they weren't the best talent out there, but god damn it, they tried. They didn't have the best skills, but god damn it, they gave you their best. This team, again, with the talent they have, if you compare what they have from last year to this year, they're miles ahead. But why are they still playing the same? We're seeing mediocre pitchers giving above average performances, keeping this team in the game, pitching out of jams, the bullpen. If they see that the other team is only up a couple runs for the most part, except of two of the games, they've held the fort down and given the hitting extra innings to catch up. And again, the hitting is just off to the swing for the fences. Just no adjustments whatsoever. And that's analytics, that's coaching, it's one of the two. And until we know for a fact, it's wash, rinse, and repeat. Jesus says, is there any value in a Trout trade? Not at this moment. Not unless you're the Yankees and you just crave names and you just want a shiny toy. That's it.
And it's not even so much value for the Angels. Is there any value for other teams to go out and get a $400 million guy at $35 million a year that can't fucking hit a high fastball anymore?
Think about this, though. Let's just say the Yankees pull the trade. And they even go as far as saying, Angels, you pay quarter of that contract. What's left? We'll take the rest. We'll give you, I don't know, a double-A guy and a bullpen arm. Angels, they take the trade, right? He goes to their lineup. Where do you think Trout's going to bat? 7th, 8th, maybe? He'll be a shell of himself, but he'll have protection. So he might tear the cover off the ball over there. But again, one-trick pony. And I hate saying that about him. There's the hope in me that, okay, he's off to a slow start. He's off to a Tim Salmon start. Because if you remember, Tim Salmon used to be a below 200 hitter in April. And all of a sudden, dude, he'd finish the season with 35 homers or 30 home runs and 110 RBIs.
I don't know if he'd have that many RBIs in New York, but he'd probably feast on that right field porch and probably have like 35 bombs.
Yeah.
And like 85, 90 RBIs if he's lucky.
Do you remember that year? I don't know if it was 2022. It was one season where Trout was injured like 3 times during the season, but he still played enough to hit like 40 homers and 80 RBIs.
Oh, yeah. 23, I think.
Yeah, it was something like that. And it was so stupid. It's like, bro, he was captain solo, dude. 40 home runs and 80 RBIs, dude. Just whenever they had guys on base, he couldn't do anything. Obliterated is blown out of proportion, but I think sometimes Trout needs a Hunter in the dugout, but Trout needs to be held accountable, and I don't know if Hunter is that guy. True. Also, Dan says you skipped a ton of my comments, mainly me love you long time. Well, I think you
All
know which one to
right.
play.
All right. Hold on.
There's a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight, which makes me so horny, and me love you long time.
What's one horny Roger better? Two. Michael says, look at those videos. Tommy was sort of yelling at his player. That's old school Mike. Sosha came from that era. Absolutely. Let's see. Any other ones? Or Rebecca? Man, I miss Sosha so much. We haven't had a manager who knows what he's doing in a while. And that's because they gave him the keys to the car, in the late 90s. And he took care of that car and he ran it his way. He customized it his way, which means he had heavy influence on the general managers, which I believe, what is his name? I'm forgetting the legendary GM we had, and then the one we had after him that was the understudy. But either way, those guys, they listened to Mike Scioscia big time, big time. He was able to bring his players in
Stoneman?
yeah, it was Bill Stoneman and I'm forgetting the other guy. He was there briefly. He was the one that messed up that Marlins trade. That trade I'll never get over. I will never get over. Like the Seahawks not running the football in the Super Bowl. I'll never get over that trade where we could have had Miguel Cabrera, Dontrell Willis, and it wasn't Beckett. It was the other
That
pitcher
wasn't
they had.
Stoneman's fuck up?
That wasn't Stoneman. That was his
Really?
because that was 2004, 2005. I think it was 2005. And it was because it was right after the Marlins were trying to shed the contracts after winning the World Series. And the Angels were going to they were going to have Vlad Guerrero, Miguel Cabrera, Orlando Cabrera. I mean, they were stacked, dude. They were going to be stacked. It was AJ Burnett, Dontrell Willis, and AJ Burnett, Dontrell Willis, and Miguel Cabrera. And it was going to be for Brandon Wood, Dallas McPherson, Irvin Santana, and Jeff Mathis.
Regans?
There you go. Tony Regans.
I don't know if
Tony
he was
Regans.
good. Like, yeah, guy fucking brought in Vernon Wells, man. Remember that shit?
Well, that is true. That is true.
That was his downfall right there.
But think about it, dude, because remember, how like today, Randy, how they say, hey, the Angels have the worst organization minor league wise. Supposedly back in the day, we had like top 5, and people were like, you can't get rid of Brandon Wood. You can't get rid of Dallas McPherson. Those are 2 studs at third base. And you can't get rid of Jeff Mathis. He's going to be an all-pro. He's another Mike Scioscia. The only one they were semi-right about was Irvin Santana. But if you stack up Irvin Santana versus what they would have got back, which was 3 or 4 good years left of Dontrell Willis, because he fell off after that, you would have had 3 or 4 good years of Dontrell Willis. You would have 4 or 5 good years of AJ Burnett. So that blows.
I mean, you only got 3 or 4 good years. I mean, if you want to call him good years of Irvin Santana, he was mediocre at best.
Yeah. So, I mean, think about that trade. That trade would have changed the Angels forever. They might have won another World Series with that team.
05 might have been our year. And 09.
Absolutely.
And 09.
Absolutely. Yeah. You would have had Weaver on that team, dude. You would have had a young Mike Trout playing with Cabrera. Yeah, exactly, dude.
For even bringing that up, man.
that was the worst trade that never happened.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, you tend to bring that one up every now and again when you're in your feels.
Well, yeah, that's my ass, dude. Because if you think about it, that team from 04 to 09 was pretty damn stellar.
Yeah, that was the World Series. That was the World Series window right there, man. Especially if you're going to run multiple.
Yeah, and those who knows could have been the missing pieces to getting us 2 more titles, dude. Oh.
Yep. And then who knows? Maybe that would have been the thing where all these players want to come start playing for the Angels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe we hold on to a Bartolo Colon. You know what I mean?
And even then, we don't get Mike Trout, but I don't give a shit. We got 3 World Series championships? Give it to me.
Yeah, yeah. How many World Series does Trout have? So yeah, I'll take what could have been. In an alternate universe, maybe we'll find out. Leadership comes from the top down. If the so-called ivory tower is in disarray, it filters down to the product on the field. Absolutely. Jason says, I'm not saying barking in Trout's face, but maybe pulling him in the office and having him realize why he's the captain. I don't even know if he's officially the captain. Open up the lines, Jay says.
Dude, we are so fucking behind. There's so many comments.
Oh, there is?
There's a
Try-
lot.
Try to get to the important ones because we're already at the hour mark. I only want to
Okay.
go like 20 more minutes. And I promise you, I will Randy, help me out with that Google Voice, dude. I don't know if you heard about it. I tried to get a number. It wouldn't allow me to have a number. I'm trying to log on to Google Voice. Maybe that's some homework if you have some time on that.
Okay.
Trout is striking out way too much. He's the best when he hits for his contact first. He's a big dude. The homers will come. Exactly. He's got to shorten up that swing. The hitters aren't doing shit, and it really doesn't help that the bullpen has been giving up runs as well. Also, Jason says it all comes down to the ownership. We can be coaching, we can be BS players, but what if we get rid of Artie? It's going to be the same every year. A new owner would change this entire thing. Let's see also what the fuck is up with the front office and the analytic ownership, and everyone has to come together and talk about this. What the fuck? Hayes says when the Angels are heading into these Texas two-step series, tickets for tomorrow's game was $40. Now they're down to $11. Wow. I wish I would have. Yeah. Jay says we can't complain about doing anything about Artie. We all know he's a biatch money man. We have the guys. We definitely need Big Papa back. I don't know who Big Papa is. Todd's got to go. He's got Steve Lee's whooping after this for the Dutch girl crap he pulled.
Okay, we are now caught up.
I thought you should be in a ton of comments.
We did. There was a lot of bullshit. A lot of just basically giving us the answers we had already given.
Oh, okay. Got it. All right. Well, enough was said tonight. I thought it was a good show for being outside on the deck. And some of you guys are being decks in the comments, but it's all good. But man, I don't blame every last one of you because I mean we're hardcore Angel fans. This is why it's for the fans, by the fans, by the fans, for the fans, and we have a good time on here. But win or lose,
for you.
yeah, I know. But it is good for me. But I hope it's good for you too, and you enjoyed what you did, what you got to see, and what you got to participate in. And if it is good for you guys, oh, Big Papa, yeah, there you go. I forget he goes by that. But yeah, I mean, if you guys like it, man, hit the subscribe, pimp it out to other people. Be like, hey, man, check out this podcast, this show, this channel is great with their content about Angels baseball. They're real, unlike the fake ones out there. So, with all that being said, I appreciate each and last one of you, and please come out to our tailgate, which is going to be popping off Saturday from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. The first $300 worth of beer is on us. Mainly Rob and James. They want to hook you guys up with a free beer. There's going to be food. There's going to be games. It's going to be pretty cool. Randy just called strike 3 because he wants to leave.
Hey, Mario, don't call me out with your facts.
Well, hey, he's running the show tonight, not me, because I asked him to run the show. I'm doing it from remote on my deck instead of in my studio. But I will be back in the studio tomorrow after the game. I'll get the bugs out. The only thing I think I had to do, Randy, with trying to set up that Google Voice, there's something on there where it says you have to try to get a phone number. I have to acquire one. It's free, supposedly.
Mhm.
But I try to get it integrated with the system because I'm told that's the one that works for StreamYard. So I've tried
Oh,
other
you're
things.
talking about for phone calls.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I had no idea Skype up and left.
yeah, dude, they're not for personal use anymore. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. So they canceled my subscription just like that. Yep, like he gone. So with that being said, final words on tonight's game. It was pretty sad. Getting swept like that in Texas, doing the Texas two steps, not fun at all. And then losing 5 of 6 in Texas really sucks. And we got to wait a long time before we're back in Texas to try to make up for it. So
Talk about the theme the last couple of years, man. It's just when this Texas two-step comes around, it's the same old bullshit, just a different year.
Yeah, we really don't have that kind of I don't know, man. There's just no fire in this team. Like you almost want like them to get into another fight, but it has to
Well,
be
they keep
something
bringing
where
these 70-year-old dudes. Oh, come here, Sonny. Come here. This is how you do it. Like, come on. There's no fire with these guys. These guys are damn near on their way out of baseball. That's why I'm saying a guy like Torrey Hunter, like he's not going to be the in your face kind of guy. He'll probably walk up to you like, hey, listen, this is what I'm seeing. But in the clubhouse, it could be a different story because he's the man's got fire in him. He's got passion, and he will exude it and show it. So like I really think there's a reason why he was brought in. I think things were patched up with him in the organization because Artie's stubborn. Look how long he kept Jared Weaver out, and I think he's slowly starting to come back around. But I think things are patched up with Torrey and the organization, and I think he's being put in line. I just got a feeling. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I just got a feeling he's being put in line to be the manager.
well, only time will tell because there's a reason why he's in the dugout, man.
Absolutely.
It's not a publicity stunt at this point. He didn't get into that front office just to
Torrey
be in the
wouldn't
front
put up that
office.
shit. He wouldn't be around to be used. He'd be like, no, fuck you, I'm gone if that's what you're doing.
Well, maybe he's getting the pulse of the team right now, and he's making a list of what he does like and what he doesn't.
Yep, hopefully.
Yep. Well, for the producer of the Stars and Todd Fox, myself, as I talk third person, and the rest of the Halos in the infield personnel and family, we want to bid you a farewell. We'll see you tomorrow night. Don't forget to get your tickets wherever you can on 714tickets.com. Use the promo code HITI and then come down to Brewheim, get some beer, and go to the OC dugout. If you have memorabilia you want to buy, sell, or trade, go down there with them. Mention Halos in the infield. They'll give you a discount. They'll hook you up with something free too. Just because you're friends with us, they'll be friends with you. So we bid you farewell, and hopefully the Giants and the Angels get into a good series and we can watch some fun baseball. And they could score some goddamn runs, dude, because none in the first game, 1 in the second game, and 3 in this game. 4 runs in 3 games. You're not going to win baseball there. So
nope.
There you go. All right, play us out, my man.
All right,
Good night,
I guess
everybody.
there's only one way to go out.